No,
That's why Shay didn't get in the game, because I was like, you'll never make it as an actor. I sided with his mother.
Randy came out of your mom's bedroom in the morning. You'll never make it as an actor. So you met Shay. You guys became friends. I know why you became friends, because
Well, we were the funniest dudes in the whole school. That's why we became friends. And two, well, they forced some of the white guys to be nice to the black dude.
They said, they had paired him up.
Because I was one of 11 in the entire school who wasn't there on scholarship. Sports, although I was very good at sports. But they didn't give me a scholarship because I wasn't there to play sports. My parents wanted me to get an education. And then I met this guy, and we just screwed it all off anyway.
So what year did you guys meet? Like what grade?
This was 82. We were freshmen. Yeah.
Okay.
1982. Man, like I said, we just hit it off. It was just one of those things, man. We were just like-minded, always being funny, making everybody laugh. The fake fights was one of my favorites. The fake fights where you throw a punch and Shay would clap and his hands before it got to the face, and we draw a crowd, and then teachers would come rushing in, and we wouldn't be fighting in the middle when they got there.
Yeah.
We'd be doing something else like arm wrestling or playing cards.
Yeah, the switch. I like how so much of your guys' early life and still to this day is pranks.
Yeah,
there's actually no, after talking to Shay this last time and now you, there's no, like, now I know why we're doing that comedy show because of it. This is like the pranks,
yeah,
man.
to this day, like he said, he said 2 55-year-olds, this is 110 collective years of shenanigans. I mean, we can go back to even the years while I was in Hollywood, or when he was in the military and I was in the military, and the years where we were apart, we were still doing the same things. And then I come back in town and we're still doing the same things. And I got to say, one of the best compliments I got was from him. This made me feel like I'd really accomplished something. But my friends and family, and, being from Nebraska, and people watch your stuff on TV. I remember what we were doing. We were hanging out there. He goes, dude, you are still the same freaking dude, man. It's just awesome that, none of that really changed you.
Right.
And that made me feel good, because sometimes when you're in those shark-infested waters of Hollywood, you got to be a shark. Yeah. So sometimes, man, I walk through there like, I'm not going to let anybody affect me, tell me what I can and cannot do. I turn down roles left and right. I don't, play roles that they try to force me to play. And I've done it my way and still became successful at it. So when I come back home, my younger brother one time said, man, when you come back, a couple of people were like, man, Randy's kind of, cocky sometimes. And my younger cousin, Daniel, stepped in and goes, that's not it at all, you guys. He goes, he's in shark waters, and he's got to be a shark when he's in Hollywood. So when he comes back here, you see him operating on Hollywood level, and he just has to depress to come back down and be with his people.
Yeah, you got to like recalibrate.
And I never thought about it, because I didn't think I was, walking around with an attitude. I mean, Shay, realistically, have you ever felt that way?
So then those people that said that were just the jealous ones.
I think so.
Like,
yeah,
Randy's
because
holding his back up straight.
Randy, you and I,
He's not slouching. He's got a problem.
He's walking up straight. He better hunch that back over like he was baling hay.
What does he do? Watch what he eats and works out 3 times a week?
That nigga better pick that cotton.
No, Randy's cool, because a few years ago when we met, and you would sit there and talk to me for a while at events, like I never got the feeling of arrogance or anything like that. Like you would sit there and talk to me about book, and I was like 19, 20 years old at the time, and didn't even it wasn't even like you name dropped that you were an actor or anything like that till we were into the conversation. It's like, what do you do? Oh, I do some acting in Hollywood, So no, I would not say you have any air of arrogance or cockiness.
Yeah, and even with, we hung out for 6 hours last week.
Yeah,
and Yeah, totally down to earth. I would not even know that you were an actor. You know, some people, you lived out in LA.
That doesn't make me feel good.
Well, it should, because it means you're not like, you know.
No,
like,
I get it.
All of a sudden it turns into insults and we just start talking shit. But you're like, hey, wait a second. Hey,
hold on, man. I've been in a lot of stuff. You should have seen something. I thought you was Will Smith.
Dude, I have a longer cable and another mic. Like if you want to sit off to the side and just chime in whenever.
Yeah, get in here.
All right, I'll pause it. I'll run. I got to run out to the car. Are you sure? Yeah, let's do it.
Get in here, man.
I look over and Shay's like, I got something to say.
No, let's be real. Let me be real. Let me say this on camera. I am who I am in Hollywood today, and this dude is a big part of it. So without Shay, it's like Kobe Bryant says about Michael Jordan. He goes, you guys say one-on-one, can I beat him? He goes, I don't like that. He goes, because without that dude, this dude is not this guy. He's like, I'm Kobe Bryant. I don't have 5 championships without Michael Jordan. Yeah. You know, he was a part of me coming out of my shell. We did stand up together. I mean, he basically forced me into it. He got me into it. And that was something that was like, and do you even remember this conversation that night? What came out of your mouth? Well, I won't even go there. But the words that came out of your mouth. Now he goes, he's like, dude, we were going to Hollywood at that time. We're going to Hollywood. He's like, this is like your test. This is it. And we're like, if I can pull this off, Hollywood's meant for me. And that was the night, man. And it was because of him, because I probably never would have done stand-up.
Yeah.
So.
I'd love to speak to that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let me go grab Mike.
I wanted to jump in because here's the mark of a humble individual, in my opinion, is how someone like Randy treats a fan. Because we've had people come in here and they find out that Randy is part of 88 Tactical. He's our ambassador, our brand ambassador. And I've seen the way that he reacts, how he responds to people. There was a couple people that came in here like, oh my God, he's in Vampire Diaries. And I always forget the Dr. Jonas Hill.
Dr. Jonas Martin.
Jonas Martin.
Jonah Hill.
Jonas Hill.
Jonah Hill.
They come in and they freak out, want a photo with him, and he's just such a nice guy and humble and just over the top, willing to do whatever it is, you know, in different photos, and takes the time to talk to people. That's really the mark of somebody who's truly, you know, humble, especially with his level of success. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah.
I see the way he reacts to his fan base, and it's no different than how he treats me or anybody else. He's just a super down-to-earth, great guy.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's accurate?
I'm just kidding.
I know it is. I've seen it.
Yeah.
What, he just pulls out sunglasses and puts them on.
No.
I'm shy.
They call him his nickname is Will Myth.
That was funny. Ryan got me on that. That was a good one. No, buddy, Ryan Tillman out in L.A. He's a cop, former. He retired, didn't he?
No, he's still part-time.
Is he?
Part-time, yeah.
Well, he has Breaking Barriers United, bridging the gap between law enforcement and community, and he's a funny dude. And one day he sends us a video where he goes to his wife and goes, "Babe, do you know who this is?" And shows her a picture of me. She goes, "Oh my God, it's Will Myth." It's a good one. Yeah. Yes, he shall be paid back for that. He shall be.
Yeah, you got a list.
No, but man, it's how we grew up. You know, we grew up with parents and morals and values and upbringing in the Midwest that it's not just me per se, because I hear this a lot in Hollywood. They love working with the Nebraskans who are there.
Yeah, and I remember when I first moved there, you know, even being young and 19, but hanging out at the Comedy Store, I would always hear like Mitzi loves guys from the Midwest. Mm-hmm. So even then they loved comics that came in from like Kansas City, Nebraska.
Why do you think that is?
I think because nice. Yeah. Not just a
raised right,
arrogant, asshole, pretty much.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, I expected, I lived here, you know, just that attitude.
Wasn't like Brad Pitt's from Missouri, right? I mean, he's a Midwest guy. And McConaughey's from Texas, right? It seems like some of the coolest and best guys aren't from the big cities. They're from out here.
Yeah. Yeah, the Midwest, just the center of it all. Again, both parents, Christian upbringing, morals and values, it's that Americana thing. And you get to Hollywood, it's easy to get your head filled with, I'm somebody.
Yeah.
And another thing is when the more money you make, the less you have to spend in Hollywood, because everybody wants you to be at their restaurant. Everybody wants you to be at their store. So they're always giving you stuff that can just blow your head up right away if you don't have any, if you're not grounded coming out of a family that has kept you grounded. But I grew up with these dudes. He knows all my brothers well. We were just dudes.
Yeah.
And we will knock each other down. And if you can't handle a funny joke, man, you couldn't be a part of our group.
Yeah.
Because that's all we did is just rip each other up and have fun and laugh and joke. And some of the pranks that we've played on people over the years are pretty funny. And today we probably go to jail for them. So it's a different way of life here than the coast, if you ask me. So
yeah,
I think that's why when I come home, I'm very gracious, because I don't have a career without fans. I mean, not this career anyway. So if they're watching me, taking the time to turn on, like you were just talking about, your parents just watched
The Job.
The Job that I wrote and directed and starred in and all that.
Which my dad said was remarkable. So check it out
Awesome.
on PureFlix.
Well, that movie I put my heart and soul in because Hollywood would not fund it, and it was just something. It was a God project. And I knew I had to make it. And when people take the time to sit down and take 2 hours to watch it, and then even leave a comment and write Sony and PureFlix and tell them they'd like to see more from Randy J. Goodwin. That is not a selfish plug.
Transgender. Then it probably would have been a huge hit.
They're like, we'll do it, but you're trans now.
No, absolutely. I
If
guarantee
the main
you.
character is transgender, we're in.
I
We're
guarantee
all
you,
in.
yes. If it was not a faith-based project, and there's several people who can attest to this, Jim Caviezel, Mel Gibson, there's a few others.
Well, look at Kirk, is it Cameron?
Kirk Cameron.
Right. Yeah, Kirk Cameron, who does a lot of Christian-based flicks, and he gets shut down and blacklisted.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that dude stuff. He's like, I'll go to the libraries. And then he goes.
Yeah.
He's just going across it.
Just a good dude, wholesome dude. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever work with them or meet them, Caviezel or Cameron?
Never worked with him. We've crossed paths at functions, just but Kirk, we kind of grew up with the same group of people in Hollywood when I got there. He's a fun guy too, but I'm impressed with what he's done because he pretty much walked away from Hollywood to keep his mission going.
Yeah.
He does podcasts and all that stuff, but he does not do a lot of movies anymore. He's just focusing on a message of hope out there. So you got to give him credit for that. I just know that my platform is still the Hollywood stage, and they're not going to stop me from doing what I've been doing all this time. And I'm going to keep turning down projects. They don't like it, but that's the way where they know that they can't control me. They know that they'll never be able to drop something in my drink and drug me and then get video on me doing something that I shouldn't be doing because I don't drink with them either. I don't go to the parties.
I was going to say, Shay does that to you all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, Shay's got a bunch of videos.
It took me years to get
When
him
you
to trust
stepped out, Shay was like, I'm going to drug him again. And I was like, again?
I was like, how much? Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I'll put it in his drink.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here at
How
88
much?
Tactical. I'm not here at my own volition. He's got video on me. They set me up, and I got to
Looks
basically
like you
dance around
at
for
8
him.
a.m. tomorrow.
She's got a hidden safe behind a painting. It's just VHS tapes.
I just carry the VHS tape with me and I just hold it up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just
You gotta blow on it.
I'm the
all time.
utility
You're
man.
blowing on it to keep it clean.
I'm the utility man. So you guys have this all set up in here, and as soon as you leave, I'll be wiping down the table and vacuuming, making sure there's no fingerprints.
No, I
and
saw
everything.
a kid with a vacuum on his back that looked like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Ghostbuster. We called him Ghostbuster.
He's just filling
This
in.
place feels haunted.
He's just filling in until Randy's done with the podcast.
Yes.
So, Randy, I want to talk to you a little bit about like the film scene in Nebraska because there's kind of more than people realize. There's a lot of short film opportunities, but there was I want to know your opinion on this, man. There was a feature film that was coming through here, and I was reading about how the director was like, oh, I came from here, and it's so important for me to invest back in this community, and I'm going to have speaking roles for these guys. There's going to be guys who are getting in a SAG because of this project, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I auditioned for it, never heard back, and that's cool. That's how that's the game, you know what I mean? Like, you audition, you don't hear back. That's part of the thing of doing film. But I was on a short film with one of the crew, and he was like, dude, that guy, like everybody, no one was from Nebraska except for a few crew spots, and it sucked. And I said, yeah, I'd auditioned for it. He's like, what'd you audition for? And I told him the 2 roles, and he's like, yeah, he brought his friends in from bigger cities to fill those roles. And I was like, what a scam, you know? It's like he said the stuff in the papers, I felt like, to get the grant.
Which movie? Because I can tell you all about the couple that just shot recently.
The grant money. I don't remember the name of it, and I don't know if I should say it on the...
You should say it.
Well, we can, and then if we feel like we need to
say
edit it.
Here's
we
the
can
thing.
figure it out, yeah.
Here's the thing. Where's the camera? I will call anybody out in this film industry in Nebraska because most of them are full of crap. Short film opportunities, we need that keyboard right now. Yeah. We need it now because I will be hitting all the buttons about how much of a sham, and how these people in Nebraska, these people, what do you mean these people? You mean these
What
people?
do you mean?
Anyway.
You can't say that, Randy. That's racist.
So Nebraska, so you have a lot of quote unquote filmmakers here who have never left the state, who call themselves the top of the game. So you have the best filmmaker in Nebraska who's never been out of Nebraska is still this far below the least filmmaker in Hollywood, because that person is still getting their stuff on TV and on the screen because we're union. We have more opportunities and we give opportunities. In Nebraska, there are many pockets of filmmakers, and they don't work together. Everybody's trying to be the big dog. And if I'm being honest, 99% of you suck.
Ooh!
99% of you suck. And if anybody's got anything to say, I'll be at my brother Darren's house, 7021 North 74th Circle, right across the street from the Omaha Country Club. Come find me on the golf course, and we can have a serious conversation about film. As Shay films, you get mopped up.
I already get enough.
Are we going to delete this?
So,
Are we going to delete all this?
You do.
Make sure it's all
As we sit in 88 Tactical. We knew he was crazy. He's all about them crazy people
He's
over there.
He's going to leave the place where everyone's armed to go to a place where it's more vulnerable.
Yeah, Randy, do it here. Don't go to your brother's house.
Concealed carry.
But so, Randy, you think that the last couple of feature films here there was some bullshit going on? Is that what you? I mean, that's what you're thinking?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
They want to come in and take advantage of what small incentives there are, because there aren't many. But then they Lincoln will throw a bone. Although Stacey Heatherly is the only person to get a real incentive program instituted into Fremont, Nebraska.
Yes, shout out to Stacey. I love you, Stacey.
Shout out to Stacey. And she's been working hard, and we're very close to getting a full incentive package for the state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
We've been working with, we got Senator Brewer.
Nice.
Senator Rita Sanders is really, really championing what we're doing down there. We've got quite a few senators on board now. Jim Pillen, Governor Pillen, is my dude. I knew he was for the film industry before he got into office, because I told him, I was like, you for the film industry? Because if you ain't, I'm turn people against you.
Yeah.
So, but if you are,
remind me not to piss Randy off.
But if you are for the film industry,
you're like,
I'll tell everyone, vote for you, man.
You're like, I don't give a shit about no hog money.
Although I do like the hog. It's tasty.
We do have nice strip joints.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean,
Oops.
oh.
We said hog industry.
Man. Anyway. So yes, the film industry here, everyone's out for themselves, and yes, they're bringing in their own people. They will audition people here to appease, because part of getting any type of government money, you got to put some people in it from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these projects have been so small that They're really not making an economic impact whatsoever.
But even if they did, so like the parts that I had auditioned for were 1 or 2 lines, right? And even that's enough. You know, you get your card or whatever. That's a big deal to people out here. So to even fill those small, minute pieces up with people from out of state, you know, but then like where they do utilize the local people, I feel like is like crowd shots. It's like, dude, that's nothing. That doesn't help. You know, that doesn't really do anything for you.
No.
It's the speaking roles, even if it's just a couple sentences that matter.
Do you
know?
think it's changed though? Because I really had a very good opportunity back in the day. This is back in 1996, 97, no, 95 through 2000. And I got a couple speaking roles in movies. Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and then Citizen Ruth, an Alexander Payne flick that had, wasn't Burt Reynolds in that? And who was the gal from, Laura Dern from Jurassic Park. Oh. So I was like a U10, so under 10 lines, and I made pretty decent money, and I auditioned for both of those, and I wasn't auditioning for a ton of stuff that came through.
Yeah.
Do you think things have changed, Randy? Like, as time has gone on, that it's just become, I think it's these people become big fish in a little pond and get cocky that they're running some big organization here and just kind of hold parts for friends and pick and choose. And
if they have that kind of power, which Alexander Payne did. So even the stuff that you did, that stuff didn't make any money for the state. And that's what's important. So when they're coming in and his production company's out of LA, that tax money's going where? Yeah. To his production company. Yeah. Through his, so Paramount or whatever the production entity is, the studio that they're running through, then they go back after they finish shooting their whatever principal here, then they're out. So most of the people that were in it were Nebraskans, extras.
Yeah.
But the main roles,
they were all
not one person from
you're
Nebraska.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah.
So why is that?
Yeah.
Why can't? Why didn't Shay get a lead role and stuff back then and stuff like that?
Nobody. Yeah. I mean, nobody. I mean, you had Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, John Leguizamo, you know, these big character names. But yeah, I mean,
but forget about Tu Wong Fu. What about Citizen Ruth and the other stuff that were made by a Nebraskan?
About Schmidt.
And see, that's what bothers me is
another one.
Yeah, I went down to Baker's when they filmed that scene.
Did you?
And watched because I lived right by
Which
there.
one, about Schmidt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
So you have a Nebraskan,
You're right.
and it's not just Alexander. So you have a Nebraskan who's coming in, not hiring Nebraskans.
Yeah.
How much of that is Hollywood, though? Kind of dictating that if you want to make it big, Alexander Payne, you got to throw in some big names, and there's connections, and there's got to be some shit going on behind the scenes.
But they had them. You only needed 2. You needed Jack Nicholson and Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
But they also had, several other people. But there were plenty of roles that were more than 10 lines.
Well, look at like Napoleon Dynamite. They were able to string together local, like how many of those people in the background are amazing? Or Silence of the Lambs. One of my favorite, the guy who's like, just talk to him, damn it! At when Hannibal Lecter cuts that dude's face off, and that actor was amazing. And I looked him up, and he's just like a random guy who did, you know what I mean. So it's amazing the talent that you can pull when you've got a good casting director and stuff like that. So there is. It's not like you need this Hollywood magic, right? I mean, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of tremendous actors in Omaha.
Yeah,
that could easily, outperform.
Well, I wouldn't say tremendous.
Wait, what?
There's a couple of them that are pretty good. No, there's some actors that I've seen in some shorts and things. I'm not a big short film fan. I'm just not. Just like stage and stuff like that. It's got to be something special that I want to see. But I'm about the film and TV industry because that other stuff doesn't make money.
Yeah.
Do they have to be SAG though? Do they have to be SAG? Because the vast majority of people around here aren't going to be like. I got offered a SAG card after the second flick, and I didn't take it because it was.
Yeah, I got.
There was
I got
no
offered
point.
one too, and at that time I was telling him it was like $2,500, and I was
wow,
like, and I called some friends. They're
me.
like, no, you're not even in LA, so just don't even.
I've heard too. The best position to be is like where you have the opportunity to take a SAG, because then you can audition for both independent and SAG, and then if you do get the SAG role, you can just pay it real quick and get in.
This is how that works. If you when you did a project and you became SAG eligible because you were in it. You have 30 days to pay your dues.
Oh, damn.
And become a part of the union. But within that 30-day period, if you book anything, SAG or non-SAG, you can still work until your 30 days.
I see. Okay.
But you still have to pay your dues to get in. After those 30 days, you're back to zero.
But once you're SAG, though, I understood at the time that you can't work independent.
You cannot.
Yeah.
So around here, if I wanted to do any additional acting,
They would have to pay you
there's
SAG
no
rate.
way in hell
No.
they'd have
Not,
to,
they can't pay you SAG rates because they're not a SAG
Oh,
production.
yeah.
You can only do SAG. I can't do anything independent. Zero.
So wasn't
Nothing.
okay? How the hell wasn't Alec Baldwin shooting an independent film non-SAG when that gun went off?
He was producing it. He can produce.
but he was in it though.
Yeah.
But he's an actor in it.
No,
in
but
that-
independent doesn't mean non-union. Independent just means independent of the studios. It's still
Oh.
a project that had to be registered with the Screen Actors Guild.
Okay.
So every actor in it was a Screen Actors Guild actor. The only way you can get by that is like with The Job. I shot it for ultra low budget, which is, I believe, under 200,000 or under 100. The ultra low ULB contract states that you can utilize several union and non-union actors. So if I did stuff here, I couldn't do it because all of my projects are $2 million and up. So you can't be ULB at $2 million, unfortunately. But if I did something for 100,000 here, yeah, I could use you guys and then bring in, Tay Diggs and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should.
I can't.
Yeah.
you say I can't.
It's too cheap. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. You can't.
I mean, Matthew
it's-
McConaughey has done car commercials. That guy's hurting for cash.
Yeah, yeah,
McConaughey.
yeah. So
his career's over.
I just watched the clip that was going around with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, where he's playing with the booger.
on SNL. Did you see that? Yeah.
no.
Yeah, he was talking to the car. What was it? All of a sudden, the kid in his back in the back seat goes, "Why are we driving 5 miles per hour?" And he turns around and he goes, "It's something about the Lincoln." And he adjusts the rearview mirror and goes, "Who are these kids?"
And he's
Children.
and then, Matthew McConaughey was doing something with his fingers in
Yeah.
the video. So Jim Carrey's going like this. He's like, "This booger right here." He's rolling.
It's good.
If it's hard to do that ULB stuff, and I would like to help more Nebraskans, but I'm just not going to. Kidding.
Yeah.
I am kidding.
Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, no. I would produce. I could produce some non-union stuff. I just couldn't act in it.
Yeah.
I could direct some non-union stuff. I just can't act in it. So.
What would keep you from jumping your fucking
No,
balls
keep
here?
going.
No,
Keep
no,
going.
I like. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what would keep you from from coughing up your SAG card? I mean, could you potentially, like with a film industry thing that you're getting started here,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you benefit in a much better way if you coughed up your SAG and just did independent stuff?
No, because herein lies the independent versus non-SAG. Independent only means independent of the studio. We are still SAG actors. Independent movies like let's see, something that's major with a big budget that was still independent was like Moonlight that won the Oscar. That was an independent film, but everyone in it was a SAG actor.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
coughing up my SAG card does nothing for me.
Gotcha.
Because projects that are non-union don't make it to the big screen.
Yeah. Then they
That's a
don't want
rarity.
it to either. They have an incentive to not want it, right? I mean,
No, everybody wants their stuff to be on the big screen or get picked up by Netflix. Isn't picking up your film if you don't have any SAG actors
But
in
like the Cannes Film Festival, aren't
Mm-hmm.
they just bound for, isn't the whole prerogative to be small time and not to, or are they all vying
it. Small
for-
time is 20 million now.
Yeah.
So when they say, "Oh, it's a beautiful independent film," most of society thinks, "Oh, low budget."
Yeah.
No. Independent of the studio, $50 million, independent film because you and I coughed up our money to do it.
But do you think that they get more attention by being a smaller, independent, labeled as an independent movie, more so than a big screen movie? Because they've got their own category, like on Netflix and you know what I mean, on Hulu. And I feel like there is a certain group of individuals that literally go for those independent movies. And it was just kind of the homegrown, smaller, even though they're 20, 30, $50 million movies.
So so that's where it comes off as smaller. Passion of the Christ was an independent film. Cost $30 million. Because Mel did it himself because the studios wouldn't touch it. Yeah. But it's an indie film. There's specific
He's
films.
just used that Braveheart money.
You're right. So there are many films that are in that world, but they do it for the art of it. But they're still expensive because you have some big names in it that are still getting some nice chunk of change. But that's to garner awards. That's to get into specific festivals. So that is all like a plan. Like if I have a specific film that I want to go to Cannes or Toronto, then I'm going to shoot it as such, but I'm going to go after the actors specifically for that movie. And I'll go after them saying, hey, I can't pay you $20 million. I'll give you $2 million. And they read the script and go, oh man, I love the script. Yeah. Like most actors want to do some of that grittier.
Yeah. And an opportunity to really showcase their talent and
just
really
showcase
just
their
do
talent.
something like with a lot of depth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. This, I don't know if this story might piss you off or not, but I did a commercial and the lead guy who got the role with where all the money was, they flew him in from LA and he was telling us about how he was SAG. He just got done with this big movie. And I kind of looked at him and he goes, yeah, I'm scabbing right now. And he's like, SAG's the only union where 90% of their workers aren't working consistently. And he's like, I don't give a shit. And he's like, so yeah, I just don't tell my agent. I come out here and I do projects like this. And one part of me was like, I kind of get it. But then the other part of me was like, damn, dude, like that could have went to someone locally who, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but
you got to make money. He's got an OnlyFans, so I mean, it's,
and you're so featured on there too. So I would highly suggest people check that out.
I have a business. It's called OnlyFans. I sell fans.
Oh, I thought
I sell hand fans. I sell I sell the kind of fans that
I set him up, he knocks them down.
You wrote this before the podcast.
Booyah!
Yeah, let's practice this.
This shit is over.
Like I said, 110 years collective.
So do you guys sell like AC units at all, or?
AC? No, OnlyFans.
Okay,
OnlyFans,
all right.
OnlyFans, dude. Listen to the title.
All right,
OnlyFans.
Well, I was just making sure.
Say only air conditioning.
Yeah.
Dude.
So the main reason to have an independent studio or to operate at one is that just so people can get projects done that the studios won't touch, or are there other incentives and benefits to having an independent studio? You know, like for someone like you were saying, like with these bigger budgets, like Moonlight and stuff like that.
Well, see, it's like me, like what I'm doing here in Nebraska, building a film studio independent of the majors. Doesn't mean our projects will be smaller. It means that I don't have to deal with their bullcrap. It means they can't make me do the stuff that they've tried to make me do. Do you know how many times in my career that they have literally thrown a role at me and said, look, here's a check. We know you don't want to play gay, but here's a check. And I go, oh no, you can't buy me. No. They go, Randy, this actually happened. This particular role, he goes, the guy's he's not feminine. You don't have to be in a bed with anybody. You don't even kiss a guy. I go, does he say he's gay? And they said, yes. I said, no.
They're like in every scene. He comes into the scene and goes, I'm gay!
How's it going?
Hey,
you know
I'm the gay one.
Wait, real quick.
Here comes the gay guy.
So
I have a question for Shay, though. Why does Randy only get offers for gay roles? Could you give us some insight on that?
Look at the way he dresses.
Well, see, I think you're confusing two things. We said only fans, not only gay. There were many times that they came at me, and I understand. Look at me. I would. No.
It's such an agenda.
That's why
and
at
I've
the
told
meeting,
him
did you
straight up.
stand up and said, "Is this what you want to see?" And you pulled down your pants and you're like, "You will never see this," kind of thing. And then you left. No, but in all seriousness, what?
That's a good one.
You say that, and then you're like,
No,
"But in all
here's the
seriousness."
thing. I have nothing against gay people. I have gay cousins, friends. I mean, Shay.
Well, it doesn't matter because of the fact that thank you. Baby. It doesn't almost slip past me. Wait, what?
Yeah, he's just like, "Thank you."
It doesn't matter if you say that, because just by merely saying you won't play a gay character,
then
you
now
are
I'm
a
a bad
homophobe.
guy. And
You're
I've told
an
him,
absolute homophobe for saying that. Even if you go, listen, I'm not a homophobe.
Well,
I just don't want to. Do you mind if I just say that I don't want to play that character?
oh, dude, here is the ultimate. I threw it in their faces. I had an agency. Every agent was gay. Every assistant was gay. The receptionists were gay. There were two people who were not. One agent, and then the old lady who was like 900.
And they were probably still forced to go to the orgies.
So stop. This is serious. Okay. Right. So they kept coming at me with these roles, and I said no. So I told my manager, I said, Gina, what are you telling them? Because they keep coming at me with this, and I keep saying there's plenty of gay guys out there, gay actors who will play these roles. But why you keep coming at me to give me these roles? They're doing that thing now where, well, you can't play a trans actor. You got to get a trans actor.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
So you're trying to make me play gay, but there's plenty of gay actors who will. So what's the agenda there? Well, this particular agency was going back and forth trying to get every time I turn around. So finally I said, Gina, I said, Gina. That's my manager. I'll cut that out. It's okay. She won't mind. Right. But that's my manager. And I said, what are you telling them? Because I keep saying no. And usually when you say no to the majors in Hollywood, they're like, well, screw you. You say no to me, we'll never come to you again. I said, no. And she goes, well, my job is to protect you. So I tell them you're unavailable. I go, oh, no. I said, here's the thing. I need you to tell them straight up, Randy will not do it. He doesn't want to. And there's plenty of actors who will do it, gay or straight. So why keep coming at him? Stop. So she did. And then I'd say 2 months later, I called my manager up and I said, feels like they're not working for me right now. She goes, no, they're professionals. She said the name of the owner. He's a professional. He would never do that. 2 weeks later, Gina calls me up and says, I think you're right. I had a conversation with them. And it looks like they are kind of sandbagging on you. And I go, so what are we going to do? She goes, I already fired him. So you have a meeting with the new agent tomorrow. I said, oh, okay, good. And that's how I want to do it. But I find it interesting that, and I did say this to him, you guys are worried about me playing a gay character, but you're not sweating me about not doing anything for BET. Black Entertainment Television. I said specifically, I will never do anything for BET because I think they make black people look bad. I think it makes us look like, well, I mean, I could say a lot of things, but everything on there is sex, gratuitous sex, and gratuitous sex, and hip hop, and prison, and the hood, and uplifting women by making them sleep with as many dudes as possible because women can do it if men can do it. I mean, I'm not for any of that.
Yeah.
I'm a traditional dude, man. I want to do things that I feel are helping society. And I think that's tearing society down because that's all a part of that welfare, that far left, keep the man out of the family. If you take the man out of the family, you ruin the family. If that man can't protect that family, it damages the kids. If the kids have no home training and no discipline, then they grow up to be, look at us today.
Racist. You're such a racist homophobe. Look at you.
Yeah, it's out of control.
It's out of control.
Hey, do you ever remember that comedian that did a bit where he's like, where he's got the gay guys that are together, And he goes, oh God, you've got to hear Todd. Todd, do this straight guy. Do this straight. This is so scary.
Hilarious.
He's so good at it. And he goes, I'm going to go down and get some beers and punch somebody in the fucking face. And I go, oh my God, that's too real. Oh my God, that's so scary. Did a whole bit on that. I can't remember who that was that did that.
I'm finding that sketch though.
It is a funny sketch.
Yeah, it is.
So did they come at you with, did they try to make you wear a dress? No, because they just kept coming at me just to be straight up gay. Okay.
And like I said, that last one, that was $2 million. I could have snagged that pretty quick.
Let me, from my brief experience on stuff, I do find it hard. If you don't feel like you relate to the character in any way, it's hard to do the role too, you know?
Nah.
I mean, you don't
Not
think
really.
so?
No, if you're good, you're good.
Well, I would agree with that,
I mean,
but
can I play a gay guy? Of course I could. I could do it all day long.
yeah.
It's terrible
Handsome.
acting.
So you think, okay, well, now let me learn from you. What do you do if you find, like, you look at this character, you're like, there's me and this guy have nothing in common. What do you do for research for the role to get into it? Or do you just be yourself?
I'm not a method actor. It's called acting for a reason. You've stubbed your toe before. Do you have to go on a scene and go, you know what? Let me take my shoe off. When we do this scene, I can be like, stub my toe. No, you don't need to do all that, dude. If you're good, you're good. You turn it on, you turn it off. Crying scenes, all that. It's method acting. You look at the method actors today, and there's quite a few, and some people will disagree, but oh well. Let me name some method actors.
Cry for us, Randy.
Jared Leto.
Cry.
Do it. You ready? Here, I'll give you. Here, I'll set it up. You ready?
Yeah.
Here, hold on. We're in the doctor's office.
That's how I cry. Fool.
Hold on. Let's see it.
He cries without tears in his eyes. That'd
I'm
be
a
the
tearless
scariest cry.
crier.
If anyone cried, I'd be like,
I didn't say mental institute.
be like, what's wrong? What's
the
wrong with
inside.
Randy? His dog just died.
Karate Man sheds tears on the inside.
You ready? I'll set up the scene. All right. The doctor's
in the middle
office.
of the
I just
story.
walk in and I go, Mr. Goodwin, I've got some bad news for you. You have stage 4 cancer. You've got 3 days to live. Are you studying
No.
the role?
Oh, I'm waiting for you to finish.
You're such a dick. Cry.
Well, you know what? I don't need to cry, Shay DeGan. It's because
Crying
there's
on
this
the inside.
thing here. This thing here called IMDb. Literally, the first scene is me crying.
Oh, I know which one it is.
There.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to look at. I'm not going to do it right now.
You're crying on the inside.
On the inside.
Right.
Because if he starts, he can't shut it off.
You can't.
He'll
Yeah.
just be crying for the next
Be
30
waterworks.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's why it rains so much lately. It's because I can't turn it off.
Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
go.
No, it's called acting for a reason.
Yeah.
So here, let me give you some method actors. Heath Ledger.
Yep.
Robin Williams. River Phoenix. Philip Seymour Hoffman. What do they all have in common?
They're all dead.
They're all nuts.
Oh my God, really? They're dead? I wonder why.
Yeah.
Drugs, want to have sex on camera. That's not research, man. That's actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's people say Heath Ledger's greatest performance was the Joker, right? I don't think it was his greatest performance because it wasn't him. It was not his natural talent doing it. He was high. He was on drugs the whole time. So the guy that you guys see in that movie was a dude who was taking pills and shooting up and smoking every day.
Really?
He wouldn't even respond to his own name.
I
My
didn't
buddy
know.
Michael Jai White was in the movie. They recut the whole movie after he died so they could take advantage of getting that Oscar. So when you have an athlete who is on steroids, what do? They knock him down a peg, take his medals away, because that is an enhanced performance.
Yeah.
That's what drugs did. That role was just a dude on drugs.
Damn,
That's
I didn't
not
know
impressive.
that. Did
That's
you
not
know
impressive to me.
that? Dude, I'm gonna
That's
rewatch
got, like,
that. I didn't realize that. I just never thought about that or heard that before. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, I guess
I
when
just
you
wanted-
think
I wanted
of
to
that
say
and you
boom,
think
too.
back at the movie and you watch it and you put it in that perspective.
Yeah,
So you
because
can see it.
because they said that, like, when that explosion went off behind him, he didn't, and he like kind of had hardly reacted or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's probably high, and it was probably like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
damn, I didn't know that.
And I like, it's just like a drug addict that's like a method acting, just so you could be
You know,
high at work.
we're gonna rename this podcast right here to Randy Drops Knowledge
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
about Heath Ledger.
That'll
Tell
be
us
the
more.
title.
Tell us more Hollywood stories, Randy.
Gather around, kids.
But there's this other dude who shot some people. His name's Alec Baldwin. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
So
did you ever,
he's gonna get
did you ever
sued by
run
all of
into?
them.
I know, right?
Did you ever run into Alec Baldwin?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The whole family's cool. I actually played ball with Daniel. Daniel's a good hooper, man.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We, you know, at my coming of age biodome, you know, that summer
Biodome.
we wore that
Wow.
out, dude. Yeah. So when I got to, you know, work with Pauly Shore once and ran
Oh, you
into
did?
Steven.
Oh, you did with Pauly
Dude,
Shore.
Pauly Shore. So, man, I'm about to turn 40. So that's probably like in my early 30s or something. And I'm opening for him. He's here in Omaha, and he's like, "Hey, man, you know where the college girls are? Do you know any college girls, man?" And I'm like, "No, dude. I'm like 32 and I'm married. I know 0 college girls." That's too bad, man.
And he's older.
Cause
than
I'm
you.
the
Yeah.
Quite
It
a
was,
bit.
he's
gotta
probably
be
in his
late 40s, early 50s.
yeah.
he's out in his 50s now. He's
Because
probably in his
I'm
40s
the
now.
so.
I was like, I don't know college girls, but I got Cheese Whiz. I made him do it. No, just
You
kidding.
remember he had his sister. He said his sister would have slumber parties, and all her girlfriends would be over. And he goes, "I'd be like, you leave the donuts out, I'm gonna glaze them." It's like, wow,
Oh my
this dude. I ran into him.
Could
at-
you imagine being raised by Sam Kinison, Andrew Dice
Oh,
Clay? Because that was like his mom would leave like him in Sam Kinison's care
Oh my god.
as a child, as a babysitter.
Well, Shay was in Jim Carrey's care.
Oh, that explains a
Obviously.
lot. You're in the cold.
Touched multiple times.
Yeah.
We'll show you on the G.I.
There's a
Joe
dude
dog.
that lost it, man.
You know, he's where he is
And you
now.
probably
is
in the
a-
90s when he was, running circles, like you were saying. He had to have been around.
because the Wayans brothers, I know all.
Yeah.
all of them. Used to play ball at Damon's house and been over there for holidays and stuff. And yeah, I mean, all those kids, Jamie Foxx, all of them, funny guys and gals. But Jim was always a little strange. But I think today he's more sane than he's ever been
Oh, wow.
because he's pulled away from Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think he's pulled away?
Because it was killing him. Yeah, you listen to some of his interviews now, and he's just like, he talks about God a little more. He's, before he'd be on the red carpet. You don't exist.
Yeah, I don't exist.
I don't exist. We're
Yeah.
not even here. They said, then why are you here?
Was that drugs or what were some of his latest movies? Were what, like Suicide Squad? Or not that?
No.
What was the movie he was in? Suicide Squad.
No, Jim
he was
Carrey
in
did-
Sonic.
Ass
The
kickers
last
and
one he
Sonic the
did,
Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Those are the
too.
last ones that
Oh,
he did.
Sonic.
Oh, Kick-Ass. Yeah,
Kick-Ass,
yeah.
he's in it.
The screen.
He was in Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really? I didn't know that.
But he kind of got political too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
went
then
he went
was-
real
he
hard.
came out against guns, but then here he is a hypocrite, and he's in movies with like Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
With showing.
And he had to come back. I remember he made a retraction. I should have never been in that movie.
That's right, he did.
He did the whole thing they all do.
Talking about
Like
Jim Carrey?
Robert
Yep,
Downey Jr. did with Tropic Thunder.
Well,
Oh, I
look at
was
Alec
so
Baldwin. He's another one.
disappointed in Robert Downey Jr. for going back and apologizing for blackface for
Oh,
Tropic
yeah, that's
Thunder.
right. Yeah.
That was one of his greatest roles.
Yeah, dude. One of the
Loved
most
him in that.
best satire ever.
Do you ever feel like sometimes when they're like, "Oh, we could never make that today," it's like, no, you're too afraid to do it today.
Too
That's the
afraid
difference.
because-
Todd Phillips
Yeah.
is too afraid. That's why he said he made the Joker. He said he was tired. He didn't want to do any comedies because he was tired of the backlash and didn't want to argue with
Yeah.
people on Twitter all day.
It's like, you can do it, dude. You're just afraid. That's all you're saying.
Yeah, everybody's. See, that's the thing too. Everybody is. Well, with the studios today, which is why more independent projects are happening. The studios used to be run by creatives.
Yeah.
And then corporations started putting money into them. Next, they're getting rid of a Shay and an Austin and a Randy, and then they're bringing in the CEO who climbed the ranks at AT&T because they're putting in $300 million, and then now you have an entire board at a studio that are businessmen and women that are not creative. And then they're going, let's do Sonic Hedgehog 3 because the first two made money. Let's do another Star Wars because those made money and they'll always be out there. And so they're creating product based on what they think is going to happen business-wise.
Yeah,
existing businesses that are doing well or have done well. And now you have Fast and the Furious Crap 10.
Yeah, it's madness.
It's retraction on that.
It's absolutely it's just insane because I think I've seen the first one, and that's when I backed out. And I'm just like, are they superheroes now? Because I see, they fight on ice. I think they went to space. They have had to go to space.
They took a Pontiac Fiero into space, man.
Oh, they did. I just said I didn't even know that, and I said I bet they've been in space.
Oh wow! I just gave you a spoiler alert.
Yeah,
they did it with duct tape and paint and glue, and they went to space with a rocket strapped to a Fiero.
Oh wow! Who was the actor that got to go? Who was
Ludacris?
Of course, because he's crazy.
And I think there.
I love me some Ludacris.
His name speaks quite a bit to this movie. It's Ludacris. And then there's
y'all know
what
me
should
like
we do with
that.
Ludacris? Send him to space.
And then Tyrese. Tyrese's name speaks to these movies as well. Tyrese. No, it doesn't.
No.
Just Ludacris.
You tried though, and I appreciate that. That was cool.
What movie is that?
Fast and the Furious 10.
Are you serious?
Dude, it is the worst. I mean, Ashton, Ashton's a car, my nephew, huge car kid. So he watches a lot of those drifting movies and he goes, Uncle Randy, I went and saw, because his voice is this deep now. Uncle Randy, I went and saw Fast and the Furious 10. He goes, it was a piece of crap. Don't waste your money. I'm so disappointed. I can't watch any more of these movies. But this is happening a lot now.
Yeah.
Because it is a business. It is not it is entertainment, if you will. But entertainment based on a bunch of non-creatives trying to stick their hands in the pot and say, hey, look how creative I can be.
So
it's as if, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
The creativity, the movies,
Gone.
are just a joke.
Oh,
well,
man.
They're a joke. They don't make them like. I hate saying it. It sounds
I know
so
you
freaking old.
It's or
They
like
don't make 'em
cliche,
like
but
they
it
used
is.
to.
But it is true.
Like National Lampoon. I mean, they were really campy, funny movies, and then a lot of the sci-fi stuff that was really good. And it's like the computer graphics are horrific now in most cases. Like I had heard the other day, I don't know if it was coming from you, how they rush to get these projects done so quickly because they're making so much money by putting out the Marvel movies. They want to just continue spitting them out. So what do they call it? Cinema,
CGI.
Yeah, CGI has just gotten shitty. It's terrible. John Wick, the latest John Wick, one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really? Did you walk out? Like I made some reference to John Wick at a show I had not too long ago. And this older woman who's probably around retirement age, she was like, I love John Wick, and I made my husband come to the fourth one, and we left. She's like, who could watch that many people be shot in the face for 3 hours continuously?
You get tired.
Yeah, she said it was exhausting.
Yeah, it was. I'm watching it, just going.
Yeah. How many times are you going to
Should I
jump
get more
up
popcorn?
and do the splits on somebody's neck, roll them to the ground, shoot them in the face with your magazine that has an infinite number of bullets in it? I mean, literally.
You guys don't train that course here?
Shots before he changed the mag. I was like, that's realistic.
Yeah, we've got the John Wick course here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Shows you how to
The John Wick course.
reload without reloading.
So, Randy, what do you think about?
You do have the shotgun that they used or the knockoff, that downstairs that you can rent. A kid was telling me all about it. One of your employees, quite knowledgeable. I said that it was taken from a different model, but it holds 14.
That's something to brag up. Oh, the Caltech is what it is, I think.
Yeah.
That one holds
So,
up to
do you
18.
think? So, Sound of Freedom. Jim Caviezel said they have the second script ready. It takes place in Haiti. Is that a no-brainer that it'll get made, or do you think that it's still possible it wouldn't? Because I mean,
it'll get made. I think there are powers that will try to stop it, but Sound of Freedom just broke 100 million
Yeah.
at the box office, independent of the studios.
And the budget was 15 million,
And
correct?
beat Indiana
was-
Jones. Thank
I
God.
believe it was less than 15.
Yeah, it was yeah.
Well, Barbie beat Oppenheimer. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not.
Randy and I went to Barbie the other night.
Yeah, thanks for
Really good.
I snuck out. I left my hat and
Wore our cute
sweatshirt on the
little
chair,
pink outfits.
and I went and saw
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, thanks for talking about Barbie, Shay. Anyway,
Is that what you tell him at the studios? You're like, I only play gay in real life.
yeah, Austin, when you I just got it. That was a delayed reaction. Austin, when you left, Shay's like, "Hey, do you guys want to see Barbie afterwards?" I was like, "No, Austin, can you come back, please?"
I go.
This guy keeps talking
Why
about
are you lying?
Barbie.
I said, do you want to play Barbies?
Again, delayed. Didn't
Not
understand
the
it at
actual
first.
Barbie
Yeah.
girl.
Okay, all right, I get
Just
it.
read
I
through
get
this
it.
door that says employees only.
Yeah, man. What's going? Do you want? How about this? I bet you have some wisdom, insight on the actor strike. What do you think, or the strike right now? What do you think about that?
I think it'll go through the winter
And-
because the AM PTP.
Well, let me ask you, and I should have phrased this with the question was, I think that the studios wanted this to happen and they instigated it and want this strike to go on for a while because they know that their model right now sucks and they can't afford to keep paying people for shitty scripts. Is that within the ballpark of reality, you think, or no?
Oh wow, that's an interesting take. Wow, yeah, that is actually something that is highly feasible. But the studios themselves, they want the strike because they're trying to explore this AI.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they've even said with our negotiations going back and forth with the writer's strike before the actors jumped in, that one of the demands was not using AI, especially on the actor side. And the studio said, they straight up said, no, we want to use your image. We want to be able to use your image in perpetuity, literally forever,
Yeah.
without having to pay you.
Right. Because even
Again.
Tom Hanks recently came out. He's like, I'll be making movies after I'm dead.
Yeah. So, and that's what they want to do. But what AI can't do right now is put that human element in it, which is why our performances are what they are.
Yeah.
Or, you just take drugs like Heath did and put out a great performance. AI can't do that.
Yeah.
Have they reduced the amount of residuals too? Because I've seen like that Mandy Moore, there's a video of her complaining that she's getting residual checks of like 2 pennies, 2 cents, 5 cents for stuff that is going to Netflix or Hulu or going streaming.
It's not that they're getting smaller because we still get if it's any of the majors, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, Showtime, HBO, first runs on any network versus streaming versus video on demand or SVOD. If you go on your computer and watch something that I've done, it's like 2 cents, 27 cents here and there. But if that same thing is running on NBC at the same time, a rerun here, I get my money over here. This is just added pennies. So they're looking at the smaller ones as, or our money's going down. No, it's not. That's just what they're paying. But that needs to come up. All these smaller ones need to come up. It's just other avenues of just other streams of income.
Who's the oversight on all that? Is that SAG?
That's why we have the unions
Yeah.
and the accountants from those unions who make sure that you get your money.
It amazes me because doing the 2 little puny nothing flicks that I was in back in the 90s, I'll get checks to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll literally get a few each year. And it used to be, I think it was like $600-700 the first couple of years. And that's been so many years ago. Now it's like 50 cents, $1.50 or whatever.
Yeah, I
And
get
then
some
I
of those.
immediately put that in my savings.
Yeah, because
And
that's how
hold
this
on.
place stays open.
And then I save it up for a car.
Nice. That's so cool, man.
Nice car. Really nice one.
Yeah, but no, the strike is they're going to use it to their advantage. Drag this thing out.
Do you have sympathy for the riders, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a writer as well, so I get it.
Yeah.
You should, if you're making $10,000 a week on a network show, the shift over to streaming is they're cutting you by half the episodes.
Yeah.
But streamers are making so much more money that it needs to be, they need to compensate them, because streamers aren't going to be making that money without these writers.
Tell me what Pat Stibbs made for writing The Call. This blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
I don't know if people want me to say it out loud.
Yeah, that's true. But a very small amount of money. I mean, it literally,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it for writing that entire script.
Well, in defense of the business, he's a first-time writer. They had to bring in another writer who created the Final Destination series. Jeffrey rewrote it with him. So, and it was independent, and it was a small budget. Definitely under $2 million. So you get paid what we agree on. He could have held out.
Gotcha.
He could have said, no, I want double that. And then all the preparation, getting this thing going, either they're going to say, fine, pay
So
him.
that piece is negotiated. It isn't necessarily like this is kind of the standard.
Right. No,
You write
so
a script and you're first time script writer, then we're going to pay you this.
we're going to negotiate. But if you are seasoned, like say you've written 2 that got picked. Oh, let's go with Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan, who wrote his first real one was, I believe, Sicario.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sicario, they were like, oh my God, this dude can write.
Yeah.
And since Sicario was a hit, that next script that he wrote, it wasn't 20 or 50 or even 80,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, no, if you want this,
Yeah.
after what my script just did with Sicario,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need 150
Do you know?
or whatever.
Yeah.
may
You'd be
have been.
like, do you know how much I have to pay in horse feed?
But even at that, even if it was
That dude has a lot of
$150,
horses.
$200,000, it's just crazy the amount of money that some of these movies will drag in. I would imagine Sicario, the second one, the first and second, made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
I mean, millions.
Yeah.
They had to make tens and tens of millions,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
What do you think about kind of the parallel economy going on, where you have companies like the Daily Wire coming at? I don't know if you watched like Run, Hide, Fight, Shut In, Terror on the Prairie, but I honestly love them. I thought that they were more original, more interesting than a lot of stuff coming out of big production companies. Did you watch those movies?
I'm familiar with all the stuff the Daily Wire's doing, and I would love to be in business with them.
Yeah.
I would love.
Have you ever talked to
be in
Dallas
business
Sonnier?
with the
Because
Daily
he's there.
Wire, Randy J. Goodwin and the Daily Wire. Oh man, I've got
Randy J.
scripts.
Winston.
Churchill.
Randy, get this story. I got a story for you. So the first script I ever write, I hear Dallas Sonnier say, yeah, I'm looking for some scripts. And he's the guy for the Daily Wire right now. Are you familiar with Dallas? He did like Dragged
Yes.
Across Concrete. Yeah. So anyway, I email him and I'm like, hey, would you look at my script? And he responded back like within an hour and was like, yeah, send it to me. And I sent him my script and then they told me no. But it was cool. It was cool too.
And they're making it right now.
Dude, I couldn't. I just couldn't believe. I couldn't believe that he actually responded to me and accepted the script. Like it blew my mind because
How long ago was this?
last year.
Really?
I've got his email. I mean, he like set it out
I'm
on
gonna
a
need that email.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, Austin and I wrote a script together. We should talk about that later. But
Yeah, I told him about it.
oh yeah, you did.
Over
Well, that
cigars.
which transitions to the heart of kind of this podcast and what Austin and I are trying to do is that there, and you, I'm sure you probably maybe feel this way too, is that Christians should be the most creative group on the planet. You know, we have a creative God who created this earth, very creative, and what we feel instead is that it's not that way, right? And so, you know, I wrote a fictional book, and I was like, "Can Christians write horror?" And I think I wrote it in a way. I wrote this book in a way that I think is edifying, and still horror and still Christian, right? And same thing, can Christians be funny? Because a lot of Christians struggle with that. You know,
I'm not funny. She's not funny.
Yeah, it's like they're afraid to break the 11th commandment, "Thou shalt be nice," right? So Austin and I, we wrote the script, and I think it's genuinely funny. Yeah, it's genuinely funny and also genuinely, Christian. And so that's the really the heart of this project too, is creative Christianity.
Well, I got 2 books for you guys. Anybody listening out there who is a believer. Called to Create by Jordan Rayner. Called to Create. First 2 verses of the Bible. In the beginning, God created.
Yeah.
Before we read it, if we knew nothing and we just found this book and started reading it, we would know that, oh, well, I guess this God is creative.
Yeah.
And then we find out that he made us
in
his image and likeness. So guess what? We're meant to be creative, which also, I've had this conversation with some Christians and they disagree. And I'm like, well, you're an idiot. God's hilarious. Because if we're made in his image and his likeness, and then there's even scripture that talks about laughter is good for the soul.
Yeah.
So is wine. It says, says that in the Bible. So a lot of people don't want to drink. We make it hard, dude. When it comes to this Christian thing, we make it hard. It's simple. It's easy. We believe, we're good. Anyway, what you do, everything you do can be glory to God.
Yeah.
This podcast, making a horror movie.
Yeah.
You're using your talent.
Yeah.
Everybody may not agree with it, but hey, you know what? They can bite it.
Yeah.
But I am, I think everything that we do on a creative level that is helping people, that's making people laugh, that's entertaining them. I think we're good.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I'm not afraid to fail, and I'm not afraid to mess up as a Christian. I believe that, I have salvation through Jesus dying on the cross. So if I accidentally say something that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or if I do this or if I do that, I know that I haven't lost my salvation. I haven't lost my place with God because of my relationship with Jesus, right? So, which confuses some Christians and some non-Christians. But like I said, I'm not afraid to try to make a horror Christian film. And if it doesn't work and I maybe missed the mark a little bit, then I'm trying to try again. And you know what I mean? Like it's just that's what the creative process is, right? So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of Christians are maybe afraid to take risks in that area. Like they're afraid to, in a way, like sin or whatever. But it's like
they're afraid of their family and everyone at church who's gonna be like, "Saw your movie,
yeah,
where you said, damn,
I don't care."
Yeah. And I get it. The idea is you don't want to sin or whatever. But hey, man, we're human. We're all going through the process of sanctification, and if I'm trying to do a good thing, I slip up. That's life. Yeah. That's what Paul's like. I'm the biggest sinner out of all of them, because you start to have that self-realization as you get farther in that relationship where you start to realize like, wow, I'm more, when you first become a Christian, you're like, oh dude, I'm awesome. I have like a little bit to adjust, but not much. And then, 10 years later, you're like, what am I even?
I was afraid to become a Christian because I thought I would like levitate and spin around and come down like Joel Osteen.
You haven't done that yet,
hello
dude?
there.
Yeah.
Like all like smiling.
Well, those are the big.
No one should smile
man.
that much.
We've made it hard. The Catholic Church has turned it into works.
Oh yeah,
stuff you got to do. Oh, but you can't do that. You can't wear Nikes. Nikes was created by. Oh, sorry, that's Adidas. Adidas was created by white supremacists.
And not only that, but
too many hypocrites.
But Nike is a Greek goddess.
Yes,
that the Romans took over too. So
who was very fast and could play basketball.
I'm gonna burn these shoes right when we're done.
I got Freedom Industries on, and I would love for Freedom Industries to support the podcast. By the way, these are a very comfortable shoe. Have you guys ever heard of Freedom Industries?
No.
Yeah, they're the parallel economy taking over. I'm a big believer in it, and it's kind of hard to find an alternative when it comes to shoes, but I found them with Freedom Industries.
Are you familiar with Public Square?
No.
Yes. Yeah,
No,
Public Square.
tell me about it.
Public Square, conservative group. So the parallel economy.
Strikes
big
again.
time. They have lots of stuff.
They have tons of stuff. So it's more and more businesses that are joining.
Okay, so explain that parallel economy to me.
Parallel economy is essentially like if you're a conservative and you think Gillette is coming after you, then you turn around and buy Jeremy's razors because they are on par with your belief system. So instead of where you're only buying these big brands who are donating to belief systems or groups that you don't believe in. You're like, I'm going to take that.
Silence of your speech.
Yeah, I'm going to take this money that I would have spent on my Nikes, on my Gillettes, on my whatever, and I'm going to instead go to the other side, and I'm going to invest it in a group that I actually believe in. And it's not easy. It can actually be kind of a pain in the ass to buy a razor from Jeremy's instead of going to the store and buying Harry's or Gillette, right? And it can be a pain to find a new shoe company and do this stuff. But it's like, I'm so tired of you guys. You guys got political. I don't need my shoes to be political, man. I don't need my razors to be political. I just want to be able to buy stuff. But when you are turning around and investing this money against me and my self-interest and the future of this country that my kids are going to grow up in, no. So then you go and you invest your money. And so it's turning into this parallel economy where if you're liberal, you're going to go this way. And if you're conservative, you're going to go that way. And that's the parallel economy.
Nice.
Well, you can see what that's done in the case of Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the power of the people.
Yeah.
And it's these companies want to preach. They want to get up on a soapbox and really start dictating, that freedom of speech is not something
Yeah.
that we should all have. It's like, why are we? It's breaking a bad habit, right? The convenience of going onto your app at Amazon is so easy. You can purchase stuff and it just drops off at your door the next day sometimes, or in a couple days. But to break off from that habit, it's easy everyone will run their mouths at first and screw them. I'm not going to shop at Target. I'm not going to give these. And then 2-3 months later, they're like,
Two or three days.
2 or 3 days.
Right.
Dude, I can't believe like the thing with Bud Light, or the one that I didn't think was untouchable was like BlackRock and Vanguard. I mean, I thought they've got us by the balls. But even the ESG score, supposedly like they're having internal like, hey, we need to like cut it out with this, and they've got so much money, and even they're like, so there is power in the dollar. Anybody hearing and watching this, you do have power and you do have a choice. Is it a little bit inconvenient? Maybe, but look at the founders of this country and all the shit that they had to go through. You know what I mean? It's like you can spend a couple more minutes to do the research or pay a few more dollars to invest in the future of this country, because if we keep going down the path that we're going, I don't see how.
You can't be afraid. You got to stand up. You got to say something. Don't just sit there and be silent, because the more you do that, the more people who do that, the quicker we are going to lose these rights.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. It's like, well, I don't want I swing. I mean, 88 Tactical is known for swinging back.
Mm-hmm.
You want to lay a bunch of crap on us, point fingers and call us different names and call me a white supremacist, I swing back.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit there and keep quiet. Oh God, I don't want to have.
If we just keep quiet, they'll go away. No, they won't. Then they
won't
circle
go away. They
like the
continue.
hyenas. They're like, it's
And you have to
wounded.
and you have to understand what they are. You have to understand what they are, because it doesn't matter. If Randy is saying, I've been buddies with this guy for 43 years, we're best of friends. It doesn't matter if my partner is Jewish, who owns 45% of this and is a third generation Holocaust survivor.
Dang.
You're calling us Nazis. You're calling him a Nazi. You're calling a Jewish guy a Nazi. It doesn't matter. You can lay the facts out.
And
They couldn't care less. Yeah. It's no, you're still a white supremacist and you're a Nazi.
And we know that the only Jewish Nazi is George Soros.
Completely.
Yeah, he's the only
Is
one.
he? You know what? Better not even say what I was about to say. But I will say, if you go on, I believe his interview with Larry King, you can learn about what he had to say. His activities during the Holocaust were very interesting.
He found Anne Frank.
Did he?
And took her
No, duh, no.
back. Similar. I mean, he went out. He
Made a fortune on that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, he talks. I mean, he talks about it. I think it's on Larry King. You can watch it and listen to him talk. But yeah,
here's a nice transition back to Reran here. You have this guy from Hollywood that came back a couple of years ago. I mean, you've been off and on, but I think last couple of years you've been back more solidly to defend me and to say this is one of my closest friends. We grew up together. He calls my mom mom. I call his mom mom. Grew up with his family. I mean, he's my brother.
Yeah,
one of the closest friends I have on the planet. And even that's racist. If I say that, I have one of my best friends. My best friend is you racist.
Yeah. He
ends up putting his ass on the line when it's so quick to ostracize individuals.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately he'd get blacklisted because he's connected to me or standing up for me. So it speaks volumes of his character and what a great friend he is, that he's willing to put himself in a crosshairs for a friend. And so when he sits there and says that you can't buy him, he's not kidding. You can't buy this dude. It doesn't matter. It's the morals and values that he's been brought up on, and he sticks to it. The dude's got integrity. And so often people I got to get a paycheck from Hollywood. It's not worth standing up and fighting this. I'm just going to go and crawl in the hole, keep quiet, and hope that I'm not singled out.
Yeah.
People are bought all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did you get any pushback?
Oh yeah.
From
I've lost
out west?
roles. I've lost some roles since I've been back.
Yeah.
Coming back. Yeah. It is what it is.
Just being connected to a gun club,
Oh, yeah.
right? Being a brand ambassador, but then connected to me and 88 Tactical and all the crap that, some of the far left is making up to destroy us. Yeah, he's put his balls on the line.
Yeah.
'Cause we do a lot of videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do a lot of
That's all I
videos,
was
and
saying.
then like I said, and then some of the defense videos, and when you put them on social media, everyone around the world can see them.
Yeah.
So I've gotten some calls from Hollywood. My managers saw some of your videos. They don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just letting you know that this production company made a comment, and this producer made a comment, and that director. I said, I don't care.
But dude, your management will drop you too. That happens to people all the time, or even their management will drop them if it gets hot enough.
Yeah. Well, my management, no, she's got my back.
That's good.
Now I've had two big management companies in my entire 27 years of being in the industry, and I've had 20 different agencies.
Yeah.
Agents are a dime a dozen. They come and go. I have a good one now, and they have my back as well. But I know that if I said anything crazy, and I'm not a hater. I don't do the hate speech thing. I don't say I hate gay people or I hate trans people, because I don't. I love people, and people have seen me with people who have these alternative lifestyles, and I'm like, hey, you're a good person. Like this, I wanted to make a T-shirt where we have the warbird on it, and this is how I explain the community here at 88 Tactical. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick. Have some common sense to be gracious enough to the person to your left and to your right.
Yeah.
Just don't be that guy or that girl, man. If you want to be like that, then you can go down to Lincoln and do that.
Yeah.
Dude, Randy, next time we have you on, I want to get you talking about what you would say to people who are aspiring to be actors. Because you had kind of touched on that in our private conversations about you going to speak and stuff. But we're well over an hour, so that's a reason to have you back. Let's start with that. I'm hungry too.
Very hungry.
I got nothing but black coffee, just eating a hole in my stomach liner.
Nice.
That's what I had
Yeah,
today,
it's
too.
you now have leaky gut.
Racist.
So yeah. We'll actually talk about acting
Oh
next
yeah.
time.
What color's the coffee?
Yeah. Oh, why it's got to be black and it's eating a hole in your stomach? Racist.
Well, I gotta be. I like my. I said this.
Don't say
No,
it.
no, not a bad one. I go. I like my women like I like my coffee
Yeah, remember that airplane?
in a cup.
Do you remember the movie Airplane?
Yes.
Dude, Airplane's
Yeah,
the best.
The little girl?
Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah.
The little girl.
Don't call me Shirley. That's one thing.
Roger.
Yeah.
Roger. Victor.
Yeah, that movie's
But see, that goes back to they don't make movies.
No,
like
they don't.
Used to. I mean, those are so campy and stupid.
Yeah.
But they're funny.
I just loved
Hilarious.
it. Yeah, I'd go over to my grandma's house, and she'd put me at the kitchen table with some snacks and pop in Naked Gun.
Oh my god!
Probably saw Naked Gun,
Leslie Nielsen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like that, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the guy from Naked Gun in the wheelchair killed those people. Because I was only 11 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd seen Naked Gun so many times. I'm like, why, I remember watching them chase him, and I'm like, why's the guy from Naked Gun running from the police?
Oh man.
Because I didn't even really know him as a football player,
I saw a tweet that was like, I just found out about OJ. Holy shit, his yardage is incredible for the Bills.
I love that Dave Chappelle line. He's like, and he's done this whole thing about where he's at a restaurant with his managers and all these people. He goes, and then I saw all these women come by. all races of black, beautiful black woman, you know, white woman, and then an Asian woman, and then a white woman, and a white woman, and a white woman, and then OJ. He goes, and I just said, it just came out. I went, oh my goodness, the juice. And he looks over at me, and he leans over the table right through everyone. He says, how you doing, young man? Really love what you're doing. And he said, oh man, Juice, that's awesome. And then they walk out. And he says, good luck to you. And then he says, my agent looked at me, and the only one who had the guts to say something. And she said, how could you? How could you shake hands with that murderer? Dave said, well, with all due respect, Sharon, that murderer ran for 11,000 yards.
Yeah.
He's still one of the greatest football players ever. So you know.
And you see that he announced his tour. He finally announced it. It was Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave, I was like, OJ has a tour?
All right. Yeah, he's man.
touring?
He's opening for Dave.
Yeah, he's gonna cut it up, I tell you.
Thanks, dudes.